Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel on the Red Review. Today we're going to talk a little bit more about Tesla and what they're doing in the market. Because as you've noticed as of late, there's been a lot of news stories as to the delivery numbers and how many vehicles are being purchased and things of that nature. But I want to focus on a little bit of a bright spot which is coming out in the news just today. And the number one thing is that Tesla has announced that they are going to start selling their cars in the Middle East. So this opens up a whole new market. But more importantly, look, I know a lot of you have been waiting for some news on the Cybertruck, and I think this is really exciting because we're going to talk about the rear-wheel drive version, which is not available here in the United States yet. Go ahead and look in the description below to see how you can get some great discounts on Tesla accessories. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you back in just a moment. Hey, welcome back. So Tesla has started selling cars in the Middle East, and that is really exciting news because it opens up a whole new market to have Teslas being sold around the world, and I'm sure they're going to eat them up because, you know, out in the Middle East, they love nothing more than great status symbols such as the Cybertruck, right? Well, speaking of the Cybertruck, we have some very exciting news. I know a lot of you have been waiting for a while for a cheaper version of the Cybertruck to come out. Tesla announced it a long time ago. It has not come to the US, but this is the single motor variant of the Cybertruck. So it's just a rear wheel drive because right now, all we have right now is the all-wheel drive, which is a dual motor Cybertruck, and the Cyber Beast, which is a tri-motor setup. Well, now we're looking at a single motor Cybertruck. And while everybody was expecting it to come to the US, it looks like now it is launching in the Middle East. Well, isn't that dandy? So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And what does that look like? Here we have the new Cybertruck that is being released in the Middle East, okay? And what we have here, this is directly from Tesla's website, and it is not available for order yet, but it will be, okay? So the range on this single motor variant is going to be 350 miles, which is an increase over both the all-wheel drive version, which is about 320 miles, and the Cyber Beast, which is 300 miles. So automatically, this vehicle is going to wind up going a little bit further. Also, its 0 to 60 time is going to be 6.6 seconds. It's a rear-wheel drive only version, so for normal street driving, just riding around, this won't be a problem. But if you're going to be riding in the snow or if you're going to be going off-road, yeah, well, you might have a problem now because you will not have your locking differentials that you had before. It's not all-wheel drive. This is going to be more of a run-around street vehicle. Also, the top speed on this one is 180 kilometers per hour. That translates to 111 miles per hour. No speed demon here. As I said, this is basic truck now. Towing capacity is 3,402 kilograms. That translates to 7,500 pounds, which is different from both the all-wheel drive version and the Cyber Beast, which have a towing capacity each of 11,000 pounds. So this is fundamentally a different vehicle. It's definitely going to be a pulled-down version of even the all-wheel drive truck, and it looks like this one's mainly made for city driving and just, you know, pulling the toys around, things of that nature. I'm not sure I'd want to take this one out to the farm. I don't know how many farms they have in the Middle East, or I guess it really depends on what part of the Middle East you're in. But I wouldn't try to off-road with this one. I think you might have a few issues. The general dimensions are the same. The overall weight of the truck has been decreased by roughly 500 pounds, which is a little bit better and makes it a little bit more efficient. Also, with this battery as well, looks like that the charging speed is increased just a little bit. one of the things I would really like to see is the battery size on this vehicle, because this is not listed, and I'm beginning to suspect it might be a little bit different, simply because the charging speed on this vehicle is a little bit faster. Okay, so the normal all-wheel drive Cybertruck has a charging speed of about 135 miles per hour. Okay, on the what they're calling the long-range version of the Cybertruck, which is the single motor variant, they're now saying 237 kilometers per hour, and that translates to 147 miles per hour, which is a difference. So it charges about 12 miles per hour faster than the standard all-wheel drive. So this begs the question, okay, so how big is the battery? We don't know yet. There's no indication as to what the size of the battery is. On the standard all-wheel drive and the Cyberbeast models, the battery is 123 kilowatts. This one appears as though it might be a little bit different, simply because of the charging speed. And I suspect it may be a few kilowatts smaller, which is the reason for the decrease of 500 pounds, along with you're getting rid of a motor. I don't know how much a motor weighs, but it could be 500 pounds. But it appears as though the battery might be a little bit smaller. But like I said, don't hold me to that. I'm not absolutely certain. Now, I will want to point this out. On the same website that they have this vehicle listed for sale, well, it's actually listing that it will be for sale. They have this screen here where they put the towing capacity at 4,990 kilograms. We know that. Estimated range, 563 kilometers, which that's that 350 miles of range. But here's the interesting part. It says 0 to 60, 2.7 seconds. Now, we know that's not the case with the long-range Cybertruck. We know that's not the case. Those are Cyberbeast numbers, okay? 2.7 seconds. It's really 2.6, and I guess they're rounding up to 0.7 to get it, I guess. That number is incorrect on their website. So we know that's a typo. What else do they have on there? What else can we glean from the site? It's basically like your standard Cybertruck website, shatter-resistant glass. They like to show all the things that the vehicle can do, things of that nature, which is, pretty cool. They showed out in the canyon. It's the standard stuff. But it looks like they definitely grabbed some of the Cyberbeast stuff, some of the numbers from the site, and they just repurposed some of the images and parts of the site, and they might have missed a thing or two. But as you can see here, they do have all of the trims available, the Cyberbeast, all-wheel drive, and the long-range version, which are there, which you can actually see. And it gives the specs on the Cybertruck. So, what do I think about this? I think that for the folks that really want the Cybertruck that were not able to afford it, or they were priced out of the market, or they were afraid of the depreciation, but they still wanted the Cybertruck, I think this one's for you, honestly. But take it for somebody that is a Cyberbeast owner for several months. This is not the same vehicle, okay? It's just not. I can't even pretend that it is. It has a lot of the same technology, which is great. And I'm very happy for you to get that technology. Steer-by-wire system, the electric motors, the efficiency of the vehicle, the fact that it can carry and tow all of this weight. Those things are great. Do not misunderstand me. But I think it's going to come with a few different compromises in a few different areas. Now, if you recall a few months ago, when Tesla was talking about bringing the single motor variant to the US, they started talking about it and several of the features that they said it would not have. One of the rumors were that it was not going to have the power outlets in the bed. Well, on their website right here, you can actually see where it says power your site, operate your tools, or charge any EV, integrated 120, 240 volt. Now, it does not say only on certain variants. It doesn't say that at all. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm just throwing that out there right now. But it's definitely on their website. It says a lot of things. Will that come true? I don't know. If we go through the Cyber Beast specs here, you can see those. Those are pretty much the same thing. Interestingly enough, to the chagrin of many of U.S. Cyber Beast owners and future Cyber Beast purchasers, you'll see they're offering the light bar here. Because right now, you can only get it with the Cyber Beast. They're offering it over there. So I guess they're making more? Maybe? Perhaps? I'm not sure what the rationale here is. They couldn't even keep up with the U.S. orders for the light bars. There are still people that have ordered their vehicles back in, I believe, August of 2024 that have not received their light bar. So now we're opening it up to the Middle East, and they're going, okay, order a Cyber Beast, and you can get a light bar. Yeah, good luck with that. We'll see what happens. So they're offering all the trims over there. Whether or not they get a light bar, we'll see. It's a lot of wishful thinking, I think, at this point. I did get my light bar. To give you an idea, I received my Cyber Beast in September. I did receive my light bar in January of this year. So there was about a 4-month lag for myself to get that light bar. I was one of the lucky ones that got it. It looks beautiful. If you have it on order, congratulations. I cannot stress to you, it's a really nice piece of equipment. It goes with the truck very well. It's very well integrated into the vehicle. I'm very happy with it. They're now offering it to the Middle East, so maybe there's hope that the guys over here will get their light bars soon enough. Cross fingers. We'll see what happens. But as I said, this vehicle that is being sold to the Middle East, the long-range Cybertruck, like I said, I have my reservations about it. I like it. I think it captures the essence of the Cybertruck, but I'm worried about the utility, and there are a lot of haters out there of the Cybertruck. There really are. And so it becomes a question of, okay, now we're going to see people comparing the Ford F-150 to the long-range Cybertruck, or the Cybertruck long range. And let's face it, that will not be a fair comparison at all. It won't even be close. This one is a sharp downgrade from the other two big brothers of the long range Cybertruck, but it captures the essence of the feel. Now, I'm going to tell you from personal experience, from firsthand observation, that folks that have wrapped their Cybertrucks, okay, let's just say they've been a little not completely honest about what was under the hood, such as Foundation Series. They will wrap their Cybertruck. So if you go out there buying a Cybertruck, be sure you know your Foundation Series. If you're going to buy a Foundation Series used and it's wrapped and you see Foundation Series on the side, don't trust it. I know guys that have gotten wraps, put Foundation Series on the wrap, and it's not a Foundation Series. And for those thinking resale value down the line, that could be a real problem. So be very careful. Do your homework if you shop for a Foundation Series secondhand. In the same vein, the long range, hopefully we'll be able to tell it just by looking at it. And from, like I said, from the rumors that we've heard of the long range version, it was not going to have the pup ports in the bed of the truck. It was not going to have a lot of the tie downs available. So there were all these things that were going to be missing from the vehicle as well. And quite frankly, you're going to have to spend quite a bit of money to get some of those things into the vehicle. And those are some of the niceties I've come to love about the Cybertruck as I use my truck more and more, well, as a truck. It's turned out to be quite nice, and I've appreciated having a lot of those amenities in the vehicle. So from that standpoint, I'm not sure how it's going to go, but if you're styling and profiling and you're staying in the city, this may be your vehicle, truth be told. But if you're going to try to use it as a truck, yeah, good luck with that. Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of videos online from folks trying to compare the Cybertruck to real trucks, and they're going to be using it as clickbait. That's my fear, truth be told. They are saying it's going to be able to supercharge 325 kilowatt max pay per use. That's what the current other Cybertrucks have at this current time. They're giving it in both the 18-inch wheels and the 20-inch wheels. So all I can say is, I guess you're going to have street tires on this one. It's not a Cyber Beast. It's not a Foundation Series, interestingly enough. There's no Foundation Series being sold here. So what kind of tires will it have with it? We don't know. More than likely, it'll be the core wheels. I don't know if they're even going to bother with the all-terrain tires on this one. We'll see. The rumored price for this vehicle was $20,000 less than the all-wheel drive, which, if I do my math correctly, that would put the starting price somewhere in the neighborhood of about $50,000, give or take. And if it were to come here to the U.S., you get the $7,500 federal tax credit for as long as it lasts. So you would be looking at somewhere around $43,000 for the base model long-range Cybertruck, which is actually, a really good deal. A lot of people are going to think, well, that's going to really tank my value. That's going to tank my my resale value, which the media likes to hype sometimes. There are certain media outlets that like to trash Cybertrucks and trash Tesla no matter what, which is unfortunate. I mean, I prefer honest reporting. If Tesla is messing up or if they have a problem, let's talk about that. But at the same time, they do a lot of great things. So let's talk about that too, okay? There are some media outlets that do nothing more than attempt to trash the Cybertruck in particular, and unjustly so. Certain YouTubers will go unmentioned at this point. But in this scenario, with the single motor, I wouldn't worry about your resale value, because I think it's going to be a less capable vehicle at the end of the day. And I don't think it's going to be able to compete even with the all-wheel drive version in terms of usefulness. Now, on the side of all of that, in addition to the Cybertruck, let's move on. So we have the Trump tariffs that have been out, and we now have, as of today, as of the recording of this video, Trump is now going to tariff China 145%. Come on now. I mean, let's face it. When he hit 100%, that was an effective embargo. We were no longer, talking about collecting tariffs and things of that nature. Now, I hate to say it, but this is a schlong measuring contest. That's all this is between Trump and China. That's what we're looking at now. It's 145%, and maybe China will go to 180%. Then Trump's going to do 200%. It doesn't matter. Once you hit 100, nobody's trading anything anyway. It's too darn expensive. When will it be resolved? I don't know. I will say this, however. I have been in contact with different vendors because I know a lot of people have Teslas and they buy a lot of Tesla accessories for their vehicles. And, a lot of these accessories do come from China. So if you're looking at modding all of your vehicles, especially the Cybertruck, because we all know the Cybertruck is a blank slate in terms of modding, and it's an expression of yourself. It takes quite a bit of artistic talent to make them look really nice, and you can put a lot of money into it, customizing your vehicle. And I've seen some really great looking Cybertrucks out there, and some that are just plain. There you go. I'm not going to fault you for it. I'm not going to hate you for it, but it's going to look like a lot of different other Cybertrucks. But the Cybertruck just looks plain, okay? That's the way they come from the factory. It's up to you to customize it to your needs, which I really do appreciate. Having said that, the vendors over in China, I've been in contact with a lot of them, and I've been asking them about what they're seeing and what they're thinking about the parts over here, because you're going to spend a lot of money modding your vehicle. So they're doing everything they can to make sure that they can keep the prices down on the parts, and attempting to keep the parts flowing to the U.S. I know they have a lot of warehouses here in the U.S., And I'm certain they've already shipped a lot of that stuff over here before the tariffs were going to take effect. They shipped as much product to the US as possible. I will advise you that if you want these mods for your Cybertruck, to go out and get them as soon as possible before they run out of inventory. That's just my 2 cents. So, well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you again soon. Don't forget to look in the description below to see how you can get some great discounts on a lot of those mods. Like and subscribe. I'll see you again soon. Beast.